Hi, how are you? It's Matt here from SuperCard Models. Thanks for tuning in to another video. Today I'm showing you footage from when I did a few bits and pieces to the front end of the car, like built and assembled and fitted the windscreen wipers, a couple of details to the front trunk area to finish that off, and also from when I assembled and fitted the front struts to the front suspension. So that's like the shock absorbers and the coil springs. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I'll do is add a part to cover the exposed foam core board at the bottom of the windscreen scuttle panel or cowl area. You can see where I'm adding the glue that there's just bare foam core board showing, which I don't really like the look of. So I'll glue a part that I've cut already from heavyweight black paper over the top. I'll apply PVA glue kind of as evenly as I can with a Q-tip and then position the piece carefully. Once that's been fitted, I'll fold down and glue the little cabin air intake grill, like so. Next, I just need to glue down the ends of the piece which I just added, where it curves around at the sides. And just kind of wipe off any excess glue. Then I'll apply some pressure for a few minutes. Here are the finished windscreen wipers ready to be fitted to the car. I didn't actually film the assembly of these because they're pretty simple, like each one is just made up of a few separate parts, which I've carefully cut out with my craft knife by hand from 100 GSM poster board. The end of the wiper arm has a point of a toothpick attached to it, and that simply pushes into a hole in the windscreen scuttle panel, which holds it in place and allows the manual to kind of move, like pivot around in a sweeping motion across the windscreen if I want to. The second wiper attaches in the same way, although it has two attachment points, one for each of its two arms. Now I'll start assembling the front two suspension struts and springs. Here's a complete set of parts that I've made for two struts. I'll start by making one of the shock absorbers, and the main body of the shock absorber is simply a length of yellow coloured pencil. Next I'm going to glue a strip of metallic hard around the top of the strut. It's pretty straightforward. I'll just glue one end down, wrap the piece around, and when that's dry I'll put glue on the rest of the piece and glue the rest of it down, just making sure it's wrapped around nice and tightly and neatly. Now I'll add the top spring seat. This is the bit that the top of the coil spring will attach to. It's made of a disc of 5mm thick foam core board. Slip it over the bottom of the strut and slide it up to what will be the top of the strut. Easy. It's a snug fit, so I don't even need to glue it. Next I'll glue another strip of metallic card around the strut.
Give you a good time.
Then I'll slide another disc of 5mm foam core board on the bottom, and that will become the lower spring seat.
Give you a good time. Give you a good
Now I'm going to make the coil spring itself from a thin strip of black paper. It's pretty simple. But first I'll tape one end to the pencil to hold it in place, then coil the paper tightly around the pencil, just like that. I'll need to do some tweaking to get the shape more uniform, but basically that's all I need to do. The The spring's coiled up a bit too tightly straight off the pencil, so I need to reshape it a bit so that I can get it onto the strut. Now I should be able to get it over the upper seat and wind it on. Once the spring is roughly in the right spot, I'll glue the bottom end to the lower spring seat, like so. And then once that's dry, I need to glue the other end of the coil spring to the upper spring seat. The position of the spring needs to be tweaked slightly so that the coils appear to be a bit more uniform, like that, and then I'll just glue the end to the upper spring seat. Once that is dried, I can twist the spring seats just to pull a little bit of tension on the spring, and I'll also use some tweezers to carefully space the coils and make it look a bit more even. So the last thing to do on the struts is add some detail strips of various silver and black paper around the top and bottom spring seats. This just adds a little extra detail, and it also hides the edges of the exposed foam core board, which I don't really like the look of. So I just use PVA to glue the thin strips around like that. And then we have the final spring and strut. I repeated the exact same process to make the other one for the other side of the car. These are the shock mount bolts, which I'll use to hold the struts in place on the car. They're lengths of toothpick, of course, and I'm just painting them with Tamiya XF16 flat aluminum acrylic paint. Then I need to fold up and glue together the strut top retainer brackets. I've carefully cut these out of 1000 GSM black cardboard and pre-scored where the fold should go. So once it's folded up and glued together, it's a pretty strong little bracket. That bracket then gets attached to the strut top with one of the silver toothpick bolts, like so. Then PVA glue goes on the top of the bracket, and I can finally fit the strut to the car. The main thing I'm trying to make sure of now is that the strut top retaining bracket is positioned accurately. You can't really see in these shots, but I've actually created a square recess in the front frame for the bracket to sit up into, so I'm pretty confident that it's in the right place, but I'll just eyeball it as I go. The very last thing to do is attach the bottom of the strut to the upper control arm. It's just a matter of aligning the holes and fitting one of the shock mount bolts that I made earlier. And there we have it, front struts are fitted, which totally finishes the front suspension. So yeah, there we go, the front end is starting to come together. Next video I'll probably show you footage of me assembling the two front radiators for the Gallardo. If you're building something similar yourself, or if you've got any questions, or you want to show me like a kit that you're working on, etc., email me at matt@supercardmodels.com, or just DM me on Instagram, for example. That would be awesome. Yeah, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you again shortly.